Welcome to the Speak Up Talk Radio Network. I am your hostess, Pat Rulo. We bring you hand-selected hosts, podcasts, and talk radio programming with listening options, 24/7 streaming or listen on demand. We also feature one-on-one segments with important guests, people who have something to say that you need to hear. And if you have something to say and would like to be featured on the network, please visit speakuptalkradio.com for all of the details or contact us at pr@speakuptalkradio.com. Well, today's guest has an important message for us. He is Linwood Jackson Jr. Linwood is an author who writes about mental and spiritual health and its life-altering benefits. He believes in the power of the Bible's words when sincerely exercised and studied. Through his books, speeches, and discourses, he encourages to think and feel for self, that self-love may bloom into self-possession through the knowledge acquired from experience. This, he says, betters the personal and devotional life not only for the person, but also for all around them. And today we are going to discuss his most recent book of poetry titled Growth, that centers around some of these ideals. So I'm ready to roll. Welcome to the network, Linwood.
Thank you for having me. Let's rock and roll.
Let's do it. Well, we have a short interview today, so we're going to get right down to it. You say, I read this somewhere, that this book critically and creatively portrays my journey into self-love, self-respect, and self-possession. Tell us a little bit more about that journey and why this book came to be.
Definitely, because when we go through something hands-on, a lot of my writing has to do with the philosophy that's actually within the Bible. And that philosophy is internalizing the words and experiencing them for yourself so that you can gain a knowledge of them, which is sort of contrary to the actual definition of religion in a sense. It's, in a sense, religion would not have you go through an experience of a personal journey. It would rather you depend on the philosophies of theologians or specific rites and deeds or commandments or whatnot for your experience. So your experience is dictated to you through religion. But within the Bible, the philosophy is more internalized to where you can think about what you're going through to develop a level of knowledge so that you can then exercise that knowledge for more knowledge to gain and for a better life, better lifestyle, better rhythm and vibration of who you are. And so that's really what this book is about. This book of poetry, I've been putting it together for the past 9 years, and I just recently published it. And each poem just details the journey of putting those specific counsels in the Bible into practice to learn how to marry my own self. Mm-hmm. The foundation being love, loving me and that journey.
Linwood, I think this is absolutely brilliant, and you made what I believe is quite a profound observation, and you wrote this somewhere, that we are missing much by not learning of and proving the Bible's words. The foundation of the Bible's spiritual and understanding is in living the experience above observing a dictated formal or traditional practice. And I do think that it's especially important during the difficult times we are experiencing right now in this world. We need to figure out how to live the experience. So let's elaborate on that. Any more thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's the aspect of living through the experience gives you the opportunity to think about what you like and what you dislike about the experience in and of itself. So having that opportunity to understand what is liked and what is disliked, you can then take away what is disliked. You can go to what is liked, you can emphasize what is liked, and then go through the next stage, similar stage. So now you have everything that is liked, but there's still going to be dislikes in that like category. Mm-hmm. And just repeating that process of the experience of living out what you believe to be true and getting a justification for what actually is true. And just like you said, that actually points out to what's going on today, because the issue of loneliness, for example, that's an issue of rising. That is rising. And also divorce is rising. With this pandemic, and a lot is rising due to human beings understanding that they're lacking self. Mm-hmm. So that lacking of self should be or can be at this point in time better developed through the experience of taking what you believe to be true and then challenging it, and in that challenge kind of metacognitively reflecting on it to gain a process of understanding that I went through this. This is not reality, but this is reality. And then just repeating the cycle so that the end can just be love.
Mm-hmm.
Loving you so that you can then be a better loving person, not just to the people around you, but to the core within you, because we all have an essence that we're born to give, not just to our friends and families, but to generations long after we're gone. So, like, getting that, settled right now it's like kind of the most beautiful thing that we can do.
Yes, it's a matter of, I think, taking this difficult time and situation and doing something positive with it. And you talk about lacking of self. I think when things were so-called normal, everybody's just running around doing, and there wasn't the time or the intensity to say, oh my, let me look inward and think about myself and think about living through the experiences rather than just doing every day and not having the time to even think or to feel or to experience. So that's why I think your book and this message today is extremely important. And I also think that perhaps if you read a poem from your book, maybe that will also help put a little bit of a better framework about what you're trying to impart via your poetry.
Of course. And I'm going to take this from page 60 of Growth, and it's entitled Rare. Your light and dark skin, your thick and soft skin, your sure and intelligent hands and feet, your strong legs, your nourishing breast, your white lips, your understanding eyes, the rare shape and structure of your form. The course of your tongue, the benevolence of your thighs, the comfort of your arms means nothing to the essence of your person or the revelation of your disposition, the beauty of your individuality, the allure of your mind. I love you, my love. I love every part of you. I love you, my spirit, my soul's greater portion. I love every part of you, and I love what you are not. Isn't this love? Have you never edified me? Have I never seen who you are? Am I ignorant of your ugliness? Have you never let me understand you? That you are complicated because you love, and because you love, you are complicated. My dedication to you is authentic. My devotion to your lips is real, because although you are imperfect, you remember my frailty, and because of your response to your weakness and of your thoughts toward my condition, I am inclined to make your existence lighter and to edify myself on how to do so. Love works, love balances. If we never took turns engaging humility, we would fail. But more than the feeling of pain and of embarrassment is the memory of pain and the memory of embarrassment, watering the heart to sprout a garden of mindfulness, keeping the person aware of love. You are rare because of your love's spirit. Your love is developed. Your love is recovering. Your affection is genuine. You naturally care. I admire you, my love. I admire you because of your thoughtful generosity. Where can a man find such a woman? What man has such a woman on earth? You will never find her. Under the earth, you won't see her. If looking above the earth, you'll be deceived. If born without her, you have no hope. I died with you, and when you awoke, you put your mouth on mine, and your hand, ever so gently on my face, gave me your breath, opening my eyes, and made love to me. But what is greater than death's sensation? What is greater than warmth? What about the memory of your spouse? How imperfect they are to console their error. Isn't this true comfort? Isn't this what love is made of? How am I mindful of this, and no other man is? How am I mindful of this, and no other woman is?
Wow, that's beautiful, Linwood. Thank you for sharing that. And you obviously have a special relationship with somebody.
That's funny because the book isn't actually about a literal person. The characters in the book are not actually real people. Spoiler is that the male and the female, the female is my mind and the male is my heart.
You know what? I knew that when I was listening to it, and then I thought, well, maybe not. That was my first inclination, and so I put my foot in my mouth and said it, didn't I?
It's so cool though. It's just so cool how you can take language and you can make language become thought.
Yes.
and that's really what I wanted to do with this book of poetry.
Oh, I love that. You're a beautiful person. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. It's lovely. Was this the perfect year for this to come to fruition? How did it get published this year, or why did it get published this year?
Yeah, each year I based on the comments I get when I attend different places and I hear people talk to me after I speak or say something, or they send me an email, or I get a phone call from someone that heard me on a show. Depending on the outlook that I'm getting and the type of frequency I get from different people, I'll actually change the books I'm going to publish. So originally, I was going to publish a book on law, and in this book, it relates how the structure of government, again, as relayed from the councils in philosophy within the Bible, how they dictate the lengths that a state should take for and against religion, and the lengths that religion should take, whether, for government. But, the way that things are going with society, and this book of poetry just needed to be published a lot more. It was just more important than government physical. More government internal is what I was seeing different people were saying to me was needed. Mm-hmm. So I really put an effort into tidying up the editing of this book. It's been 9 years in creation, so I wasn't planning on releasing it at this point, but it was just so necessary that it just came to completion perfectly.
Right, I felt that. I thought so as well. And you have many, many other books as well that you've written in the past, correct?
Yep. This is my 7th book. This book of poetry is my 7th book. Kind of stepping away from my norm. My norm is research, basically research-based and philosophically based, expounding upon the philosophy that's within the Bible, and not sort of challenging present traditional standards of how you define religion or how the Christian religion has sort of left off the philosophy that is within the Bible, but more research-based to a specific subject, to emphasize that subject according to what the Bible actually teaches, as opposed to a theological comprehension or theory of what it may be.
Mm-hmm. I get it. All right.
Yep.
And the book cover then. Talk to us briefly about that.
Yeah, that's loved and hated, surprisingly. But it's basically it looks like male embracing female, but it's really the female is clinging on to her man as he is going through something internal that's upsetting him, and she's comforting him. And it's in a way where they're both clothed from the waist down, but from the waist up, she is completely embracing him, so she is covered. And it's just intimate. And I wanted it to be intimate because that's how our mind and our heart or our thoughts and feelings should be. These two don't represent actual people. They represent my heart and my mind. So I need my heart and my mind to embrace one another in this loving relationship. Despite the sorrow that they naturally feel, they can comfort one another, and I can grow as a human person, both personally and devotionally through it.
It is a captivating cover, and I can understand how you say some people don't like it and some people do. Actually, talk about a marriage. I think it's a marriage between not liking it and liking it, and you're not sure, and it really causes you to study it and think. So it's not a one glance cover.
Yep, that was really my intention, but I really didn't think it would get like negativity, like even to have this published on certain news stations is just like, oh, we can't do this because it's just weird. You think about all the obscene things that are out there.
Yes.
And it's like this.
Exactly. Oh, that's so interesting that you're experiencing that. But you know what? Stick with it, because because it's you and it's your message, and maybe it will
Yeah.
cause people to think, and maybe just through our conversation today, a light bulb might go off. I also love that you design clothes with the wise words, learn to live well. That's another side piece to you too.
I do, yeah, and that it became an experiment, but then like as I was wearing them and I got noticed wearing them and the messages on them, it was just like people resonate with, not just with books and not just with music and not just with poetry, but clothing. Like there are people that really want to wear positive things to feel and look positive.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the foundation of what I do teach is learn how to live well, and I expound upon like how to learn how to live well in my books, but just to put that on clothes and to wear that around, it's an emblem, it's a brand, it's a philosophy that is true. We have to learn how to live well, not simply just for the sake of it, but because this is what our hearts are beating to live well. We're human beings created in a very fractured way, and this is what it means to be human, is learning how to live well. So, that's what I stand for, and I put that on my clothes.
I'm glad it's well received. People need that kind of positivity and a reason to stop and think and share their thoughts with others via clothing. I mean, it's something you don't necessarily think about, but it's just another way to impart a message.
It is very true, and it's just amazing how many, there's people that love to read, but they won't listen to music. Mm-hmm. And then there's people that don't really listen to music, but they love clothes. And then there's people that really don't love clothes or don't like music, and they don't like to read, but they like to watch movies. Mm-hmm. So like there's a little field for everyone. And the more that I'm, going out there and speaking to different people, and the more that I say what I say, I publish what I publish, I wear what I wear, I'm becoming aware that, if this was there, they would like that. Mm-hmm. And if this was there, they would like that. So, and connected to me, which is interesting because I look at me and I'm just like, I don't know, I'm just like you. I'm learning the same thing and I'm putting it into practice the same way. The only difference is I'm vocal and I don't quite care who hears what I have to say, because you need to know that you're not alone in what you're going through.
Yes.
I'm going through what you're going through. You may not say it or articulate it in the way that I'm doing it, but you resonate with it, and I'm going to say it because you need to know you're not alone.
Well, and you're also an inspiration for those who have a message to speak and feel frightened or concerned or whatever, hesitant to come out there and express themselves. So I think your message resonates on so many levels. I love talking with you. I want to make sure that we're not missing anything that you wanted to bring up today. Is there anything that was on your mind?
Not at all. Like, you pretty much hit on everything. I mean, the main thing that I really wanted to just, get to say is, learn to live well, and that's really like the point to me, mm-hmm. as I'm seeing it, and as I'm going through this living experience that I'm going through. It's learning how to live well despite whatever may be physically happening to take you away from that. Yes. Everything is pretty much a distraction, physically, mentally. The strength has to be there, mm-hmm. so that we can look past what's going on physically and to know that what we're going through, it's really not representative of who we are or who we will be. Just learning how to live well, to just get past that, to keep on living well.
Oh, thank you so much. Please share all of your contact information where folks can learn more about you, where they can get copies of this poetry book titled Growth, and also look into some of your other work as well.
For sure. You can go right to my website, linwoodjacksonjr.com. L-I-N, though. It's Linwood, jacksonjr.com. You could contact me there. You can see all of my books there, all of my interviews. It's full spectrum me. So
right.
Tune in.
LinwoodJacksonJr.com. Linwood, Jackson as it's spelled, junior.com, LinwoodJacksonJr.com. The book we spoke about today is titled Growth. Any final words before we head out?
Of course. Empathy. Empathize. Empathize with the people around you and the people that you don't know. Just stay tuned into empathy and let that experience of just simply being quiet when someone is talking to you inform you of your own self and inform you of the benefit of just letting someone be heard. So empathy is the last thing I would say right now.
Thank you for leaving us with that. I think we experienced some growth today just through this short conversation, and I just want to say that I think that you are a gift. You are a gift to all of us, and I'm glad you found me, and I'm very, very pleased to be able to share you with our listeners today. So thank you so much. LinwoodJacksonJr.com. Head over, get a copy of his book, Growth. Thank you, Linwood.
Thank you.